Dear students, today we are going to see basics of cryptography. In the previous two sessions, we saw what are the motives of the attacks and what are the vulnerabilities uh, due to which we are undergoing the attacks, and what are the basic strategies and techniques by which we can overcome the vulnerabilities, and also we saw what are the guiding principles. Now we are going to see basics of cryptography. We said in order to provide data confidentiality and data integrity, the text or the data that has been communicated between the sender and the receiver should be protected. How can we protect this? We said we can go for the encryption technique. So what are the encryption techniques and how we can do those encryption? Everything we are going to see in this session. Yes. Before going into it, we have to know what is plain text, what is ciphertext, and what is cryptography. The art of converting the plain text to the ciphertext is nothing but cryptography. So, what is plain text? A original message without doing anything. Whatever the raw message we have, that is nothing but plain text. While the coded message is called ciphertext. What is coded? After encryption, we will get unintelligible form of the data, ununderstandable form of the data, that is called ciphertext. Plain text is the raw data which the sender has to send to the receiver. The ciphertext is unintelligible form, that is encrypted form, that is coded form is nothing but ciphertext. The process of converting from the plain text to the ciphertext is known as the enciphering or encryption. Restoring the plain text from the ciphertext to the plain text is called decryption or deciphering. So, how these things can be done? Without key, is it possible? No, it is not possible. So, we should use key. Key is some critical information used by the cipher known only to the sender and the receiver. For the encryption and the decryption process, we need an important component called key, which should be known to the sender as well as receiver. That too only these two people should know. Next, basics of is the many schemes used for the crypto encryption constitutes the area of the study known as cryptography. Such a scheme is known as cryptographic system or cipher. The study of this is nothing but cryptographic system or cipher. What is cryptanalysis? The techniques used for deciphering a message, that is converting the encrypted text to the plain text without any knowledge of encryption, that is any key information or anything, is nothing but cryptanalysis. So who is cryptanalyst? The unauthorized people or the authorized people who have the rights to do is nothing but cryptanalyst. The area of cryptography and the cryptanalysis together are called cryptology. Next is encryption. As I said, the encryption is nothing but the process of converting the plain text to the ciphertext with the help of the key, and the encryption algorithm is encryption. So, as I said, see the formula C is nothing but ciphertext, which is equal to encryption. E is nothing but encryption. Capital E is encryption. The small e is nothing but the encryption key which we are going to use to convert the plain text to the ciphertext, and the P is plain text which we have. Then at the receiver they have to do the decryption process, that is they have to convert the ciphertext to the plain text. So how I will receive the plain text? P is equal to, I have to apply some decryption algorithm, that is capital D. Small d is decryption key, and the C is nothing but the ciphertext which I received or which the receiver received from the sender. Next is Kirchhoff's principle. So the secret should be in the key. The secrecy should be in the key used for the decryption, not in the decryption or the encryption algorithms. Yes. So the secrecy should be maintained only, can be maintained in the form of key, and not in terms of algorithms. That was said actually by the Kirchhoffs. There are two types of cryptography. One is symmetric cryptography, and and the other one is asymmetric cryptography. Dear friends, like if you know what is, you can understand. If you can understand what is symmetric and asymmetric cryptography, you can understand all the concepts of the cryptography very easily. So please concentrate. What is symmetric and asymmetric cryptography? See, if you take a symmetric key cryptography, here only one key will be used by the sender as well as the receiver. That is, the same key is used by the sender and the receiver for both the encryption and the decryption technique. That is why it is called symmetric encryption. See, the sender has to send the data. How can we send the data very confidential? By maintaining confidentiality and integrity. We said we have to apply some encryption. So how I am going to apply encryption? With the help of some key. Same key I am going to use for the encryption process, that is for converting the plain text to the ciphertext at the sender side, and the same key is again used by the receiver to convert the ciphertext to the plain text back. It's nothing but symmetric key cryptography. So I'm going to use only one key for both the encryption and the decryption technique in case of symmetric key cryptography or secret key cryptography. This, what are the advantages of symmetric key cryptography is, as I said, only one key is involved, so the execution is faster and it is less complex, can be used for the bulk data transmission. So what are the examples of symmetric encryption algorithm are DES, 3DES, AES, RC4. Next comes asymmetric key encryption. Yes, the opposite of symmetric is asymmetric. But you cannot understand so easily like what we did in symmetric key encryption. See, what is said is, see, I am the sender. If I have to send the information, what I should do is, every sender and the receiver will be given a pair of keys. What are those keys? One is private key and the other is public key. So as a sender, if I want to send some information to the receiver, either I can encrypt my data with the private key of the sender, or I can encrypt the data with the public key of the receiver. How will I get the public key of the receiver? Since it is public key, it will be available for the public use. Private key is only known to the person who possesses it, known only by the owner of the key. So if I want to encrypt the data, there are two choices for the sender. One is he can encrypt by his own private key, or he can encrypt the data with the help of the public key of the receiver. Okay, first case we'll see. If the sender is encrypting with the private key of the sender, what the receiver should do? So the receiver will get the ciphertext and he has to use the public key of the sender because it has been encrypted with the private key of the sender. So he should decrypt with the public key of the sender. Okay, what is the second case? If the sender is going to encrypt the data with the help of the public key of the receiver, what the receiver should do now? He has to decrypt the data with the private key of the receiver. So if you understand these two things very clearly, then the problem is solved. There are two things. If I am going to encrypt the data with the sender's private key, it should be decrypted with the sender's public key only. If the sender is encrypting the data with the public key of the receiver, it should be decrypted with the private key of the receiver only. So this is the constant rule of asymmetric key encryption. Since we are using two different types of keys for the encryption and the decryption process, it is called asymmetric key cryptography or public key cryptography. The examples of asymmetric key cryptography are Diffie-Hellman and the RSA algorithm, which is widely used. So in the next session, we'll see what are the other techniques with which we can, simple techniques we'll be seeing, with which we can do the encryption process. So this I am completing my session. Thank you. Bye bye.